Toy Spot. We're having a look at the McFarlane Toys, The Matrix Series 1, Trinity from the lobby scene. Spot's already had a look at Neo and obviously wanted to continue on having a look at some of the older Matrix figures. But you can take both Trinity and Neo, put them together to get a full shooting out scene from the movie. A classic scene from the first Matrix movie. On the backside of the package, other figures that were available in Series 1, we had Twin 1 and Twin 2, as well as Morpheus from Matrix Reloaded, and we had Lobby Scene Neo and Lobby Scene Trinity from Matrix, the first Matrix movie. I think initially I had Morpheus, but the twins were so insanely expensive, and they were probably about $60 a piece when the Matrix movie first came out and these toys were released. Twins were very short cased, and because of that, very hard to find. I'm sure now you could probably find them on eBay. Probably not very many people looking to be picking up Matrix figures anymore, but back then, I mean, they were going for quite a price. If you want to certainly check out more, you can go to www.spawn.com and check out not only the Matrix figures that no longer are being produced by McFarlane, but they still have images there of their pieces. Also some Spawn figures and all the other goodness. Also Walking Dead stuff big there as well. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to get a better look at not only Trinity, but we'll also put the two pieces together along with the Neo that we've already had a look at, and we'll see the completed lobby scene. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. The contents that come with Trinity, aside from Trinity, we'll look at in a second. You get yourself two floor pieces, or one ceiling, one floor piece, the very same way that Neo came with his. You'll see a little couple of grooves at the top, and two sliding pegs on the bottom of this piece here. Take the two, line them up, and just match the two up. Sometimes this one's a little harder to get. There we go. And just put the two together like that. Easy way to tell which is the floor, which is the bottom. Follow gravity. Gravity will drop the bullet cases to the ground, so you'll know that that is the floor. So really, again, some nice detail on the piece. I want to keep saying ricocheted, but like the exploded pieces of concrete as the bullets have hit it. These are all a rubbery piece as well. Would you be worried that these would break? Not necessarily. I mean, they are pliable enough that it may not be too much of a problem. But some nice detailing on the flooring. We got the bullet holes completely just riddling the back section of this wall. Bullet casings down below along some debris, some boulders, some pieces of concrete. And one thing, once again, with Neo had the same thing too. If you're not quite certain where to peg the figure in, look at the back of the display piece. You'll see a visible hole versus just, a molded piece. So you know that Trinity is going to get plugged right into there. Also, similar to what Neo got, you also get yourself a pillar. It's actually very, very similar. In fact, let's move the camera back a little bit here. Let's bring in the one that came with Neo. They're almost similar, almost exact. I mean, slightly different, but very similar in scope. You could just kind of display them any which way that you want. They don't really peg into any piece on here. They're just kind of, free floating, really, to say the least. But yeah, some really nice detailing on the pillars. So we put those down, and let's have a look at Trinity. Now, Trinity doesn't come with any weapons at all. She does come with pistols in her holsters here, but it doesn't look like they are removable. It looks like they're just standalone pieces. And I would have thought, if anything, she would have come with at least one handgun. It looks like her hand is ready to hold a gun, but again, like these look like they're just molded in pieces. So Trinity, unfortunately, doesn't come with anything. Likeness-wise, I would think she's a little bit better than Neo. Just a little bit. It's not really saying a lot, but it's one of those things where yeah, you kind of have to look from a distance and squint. Sculpting has come a long way since the time that these figures were produced. But she does have this, she has her leather kind of raincoat, trench coat on as well. The Matrix as a whole, like costume-wise, really set the bar, I think, for like costumes in movies. You know, the kind of, I don't know, kind of like, I don't want to say bondage, but like the all leather, really goth look to it. I almost probably part of me wants to say like the things like X-Men movies and stuff like that took a cue from Matrix. That may or may not be right, possibly not. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not too bad. Now she does have a rod, like a little pole in the bottom of her foot, the same way that Neo had one in his hand. And take the figure, once again, making sure you know where the hole is going to be. And you're going to just slide it, kind of wiggle and push it into the board here, the backboard. It's a little harder because it seems like the hole that she comes with is a little more difficult to get her on there. And I guess it probably helps too that you're going to want to get it on there and she's not going to fall off. Neo's standing on his hand, but with Trinity running up the side of the wall, you kind of want to make sure she's not going to go anywhere. But you get something that looks like this. I mean, really on its own, nice looking piece. Just a shame, I don't know why her hand looks like she really wants to be holding something, but she doesn't come with anything. Very strange. But as it goes for showpieces, it looks really decent. You can put the pillar next to her, just kind of something like that. And again, it looks like a good, decent showpiece. In the way of her articulation, you know, I really should have done that I really should have done that before I pegged her in. But her articulation is she does rotate the head. Rotates at the forearm here. She does bend at the elbow as well. And it really just depends on how you want to pose her. I mean, she's kind of, the way she's standing, you kind of want to have her in a specific way anyways. You may not want to have her hand necessarily up. She does swivel, no she doesn't. She does swivel in the one leg, which is this leg right here. And that seems to be it. A very staction piece that you'll be getting here with Trinity. Even though I think her likeness is probably a little bit better than Neo's, I think Neo looks better when you have him on display. He just looks a little more impressive. Case in point, as I was going to be doing this anyways, case in point, I'll put Trinity right there. I'll reach off camera. And there's Neo. And you can kind of just put the two together. They don't really even, I don't even really want to say that they join. They can kind of just put them next to one another. Or, if you want it to also be clever too, you can turn them into bookends. Will they necessarily hold books very well? Maybe these might not hold it as well, but they still look equally good. And for an older piece, let's bring the other pylon in here as well. For an older piece, these pieces still show very well. It's the kind that when you go into somebody's room, if somebody had collected these and had these on display, you're definitely going to get eyes looking at them when they're walking by. They're going to look over and say, hey, is that Neo and Trinity from The Matrix? And you would be sitting back, arms crossed, very, very proud of yourself. Yes, they are. They're from McFarlane's Series 1 Trinity, or Matrix movie figures. And somebody would say, why would you just say Trinity? I don't know. But yeah, I think they're really decent pieces for their age. And something that nowadays you can go on eBay and probably find for, I don't know, like maybe $5, $10 most for these. They're a cheap, very inexpensive way to get really nice looking art pieces. Neo might possibly be my favorite, but I think the two of them really go well hand in hand. Again, if you wanted to be clever, you could, again, make them into bookends, but you can take that credit. You don't have to necessarily thank me for that. Neo, again, I think a little bit more. But Trinity, I'm going to still give Trinity, though, I'm going to give her a 7. Yeah, she doesn't have as much going on for her. But I really appreciate what McFarlane did approaching this line. He didn't just simply say, "Hey, you know, here's a figure just standing up. That's Trinity for you. You know, thank you for buying my figures." At least he did something dynamic with them. He made them into really beyond the point of just art of action figures. He made them into art, along the same lines as the Spawn classic comic covers. Those pieces aren't just figures, they're art pieces. And really, again, that could be said for a lot of what he was doing with the Matrix figures. So kudos, McFarlane. Kudos for producing, again, these are older figures, but producing really nice figures for not only their time, but still something I think that still stands up well to this day. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look. There she is right there. Today we're having a look at the Matrix Series 1, the lobby scene, Trinity. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.